do we send money internationally without sending across the border? Simple. You make a local payment to Denari Cash, and Denari Cash makes a local payment to your recipient. That's right, it's local in, then local out. From any account to any cash pickup and major bank account. That's the reason why Denari Cash makes money transfers so much cheaper and faster. Available on any mobile, tablet, and computer. Denari Cash is trusted and loved by tens of thousands of people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Sign up now and start saving now with Denari Cash.
Yon, welcome to another Finance Friday with Kuya J, aka the Purpose-Driven Advisor. We're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And also, itong episode natin will also be available sa Pera and Purpose Podcast on Anchor, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. Of course, huge thanks sa aking regular viewers out there, ha? And a big shout out to Denari Cash for supporting my advocacy on financial literacy. So, if you are new to my channel, please like, share, and subscribe sa aking Facebook, YouTube, and also, please connect with me on LinkedIn. So, ang episode natin today is about eyes on the franchise. Oo, kasi I've been meeting some of my clients who's already into franchising, and I got a little interested in that. So, why not ask the person who is an expert in terms of franchising? So, siguro tayong mga batang 90s, kilala natin yung guest natin for today, no? And siya yung commercial model ng Royal True All Range during that time. Pero, ang dami niyang ginagawa, and I really admire this person on how he handles all the things that he is doing. So, he is a host for the Philippine Realty TV and Bloomberg TV sa Philippines. He's also an author of award-winning books, a columnist, and an entrepreneur. Ito lang yun naman yung mga businesses niya, no? He is a co-founder of Mercato Central. He is a co-founder of Enter PH. A co-founder of EasyFranchise, which is kung ano yung tatakal natin today. He's a mentor sa Go Negosyo and Board of Advisors ng DLSU College of Business. Currently, he is also the consul of Monaco in the Philippines, a motivational speaker, and a man of many hats. Please help me welcome our guest for today, Mr. RJ Ledesma. Woohoo!
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat ulit sa invitation mo to be over here right now. Sa lahat ating mga kasama na dyan sa UAE. Assalamualaikum. Thanks so much for having me. I'm just going there to UAE, Dubai, and enjoying the great food. Namimiss ko na yung kunafa dyan, but wala magagawa. Dito muna tayo.
Oh, grabe bro. I think I first saw you here 2018 because of the same topic about franchising. And doon na-open yung eyes ko na ang dami palang franchises sa Philippines. I think dinala mo dito yung water refilling station, and then
Actually, yung story dyan maganda. Yung naisip na yung kumpanyang EasyFranchise, which is what we call a tech startup company, no? Naisip ko, nung bumisita ako dyan sa inyo noong 2018. So, you know, I usually tell people, ako kasi po ay sinabi mo kanina, Kuya Jay, na ako ay isang entrepreneur at entrepreneur mentor. At yung basic philosophy ko pagdating sa business, no, in terms of entrepreneurship, is that entrepreneurship is all about discovering pain points. Or turning your irritation into inspiration. Dahil sinasabi ko sa mga tao, yung nakaka-irita sa'yo, kung nakaka-irita sa'yo, baka nakaka-irita rin sa ibang tao, and if you can solve that irritation, that is where you make money. For me, that's the most basic way how you think about businesses. At lahat ng mga businesses ko na na-mention mo kanina, yan talaga yung naging, dyan nagsisimula yung mga negosyo ko. So paano ko naisip yan nung pumunta ako dyan sa Dubai in 2018? I was actually sent there to give a talk on entrepreneurship. At nangyari dyan, nakita ko, may sumama sa amin na water refilling station na sponsor. So she spoke over there, she spoke about how great the water refilling station was. And when she was done with the talk, ang daming mga OFW gustong kumuha tuloy ng water refilling station. Kahit ako, nainganyo akong kumuha ng water refilling station. So number one, nakita ko na there is really a strong desire sa ating mga kababayan especially kung ikaw ay nakatira sa Middle East, you want to make sure that may exit plan ka, di ba? May plan B ka. So pag uwi mo dyan, meron kang negosyo nakatayo at tumatakbo. Hindi ba? Tama ba ako, Jay?
Yes.
Diba? That's one thing that you want to do. You want to make sure that when you go home, yung pera ninyo, hindi yan igagasta kung saan-saan lang. You want to make sure that your hard-earned money is working for you, di ba? At pangalawa dyan, the second insight I gained, so number one, nakita ko din, pain point. Many OFWs want to have a business, they just don't know how. So franchising helps solve it. They just don't know where to secure that information because there's nothing online that was consolidated para sa ating mga OFW. So isang pain point yan. Yung pangalawang pain point na nakita ko dyan is that when most of the OFWs wanted to secure that franchise, yung kauna-unahang tanong nila is, sino po yung magmamanage ng franchise na yan? At ang time napansin ko, hindi nakasagot yung ating owner ng franchise. Or sabi nila, baka pwede mo ipatakbo sa inyong kamag-anak o kapatid. Pero alam po natin, lahat ng mga kababayan sa Middle East, mahirap na kung ipapatakbo mo yung negosyo yan sa mga kamag-anak at kaibigan because there's a big conflict of interest. Hindi mo alam kung tama yung paggamit ng pera na yan, di ba? So the second opportunity which I saw over there is that an OFW is looking for a franchise that they can buy, that they can invest in. So when they get home, there's a business that is waiting for them that is up and running, and it is efficient and it is well run. At pangalawa, you want to make sure that somebody else can run that franchise for you in your absence. They can run it professionally. So dyan nagsimula yung idea ng EasyFranchise because EasyFranchise is a digital platform that connects franchise owners with franchisees. And in particular, yung focus ng mga franchisees namin are our OFWs because aside from choosing a franchise na bagay sa budget mo, sa kagustuhan mo, gusto mo ba food, gusto mo water refilling, and based on your return on investment, yung preference mo, we also have somebody who can run that franchise for you in your absence. So it addresses the key pain points. Because like right now, kung pumunta ako sa Dubai, how would you have known what is the best franchise to use? Who is the best one to recommend? Sino ba dyan na vet na or na curate na alam mo na papagkatibalaan ng mga tao, di ba? How do you know na na-test na yan? How do you know that they are integrity? In EasyFranchise, we chose 1,300 franchises and we met with them before onboarding all of them to see how's your franchise running, what are your franchise plans, what are your operating manuals, what do your franchisees say about you, and we also have people separately to manage the franchise professionally for them. So, kumbaga nawawala yung friction cost, yung friction cost ko para sa ating mga OFWs, saan ko hanapin yung mga legitimate, legitimate mga franchise which I can invest into? Dito na yan. Who can run my franchise habang wala ako sa Pilipinas? Dito rin yan.
Grabe, no? Out of that experience pala sa Dubai, doon na buti franchise. Ito, nung time na yun, naalala ko sinabi mo na without irritation, ano yun? Walang
irritation leads to your inspiration.
Inspiration, no? And pinagawa mo kami ng SWOT analysis, sabi, ano yung problem na iritang-irita ka na gusto mong bigyan ng solusyon? And for me, parang during that time, kaya yun yung kakastart ko lang as a financial planner na kumaga I am very irritated with things, with people na walang access to the right information about financial planning.
That's right.
Oo, yun yung inisip ko back then. So I really focused on that irritation, and I think it led me to this, itong concept ko na mag-conduct ng mga live interview with people who are experts in businesses, in finance.
Oh, fantastic. That's the best way to start off. See, yung nangyari sa'yo, you also use your irritation to lead to your inspiration to do business, which is what you're doing right now.
I never dreamed of having this talk with you, probably because of that event then 2 years ago. Kaya nga sabi ko, one day I want to meet RJ, I want to speak to him one-on-one.
Sure,
and I want to learn so much from him kasi nga, you're a man of many hats, and currently parang ganun din yung nangyayari sa akin. Mamaya, I'll ask you how you do things, pero let's focus on the gist of the topic muna. So, you already talked about EasyFranchise, but why is franchising really a good thing that we all should look at?
Okay, I think first of all, we need to define, if you have people, the first question people often ask is that, should I invest in a franchise or should I put up a small business, diba? And there's nothing wrong with both of those options. The only thing lang is in terms of your time and your resources. So for example, if you want to put up a small business, like I do, I put up businesses all the time. Wala lang playbook, di ba? Ibig sabihin, wala nakasulat po para sa inyo. You have you use your own money to run a business which you are learning about while you are running the business, which is okay. That's how many businesses start off. The question is lang, may oras ka bang magkamali, di ba? Do you have time to make errors in doing the business? Kasi baka limitado lang muna yung pera mo and you can afford to have many mistakes because admittedly, I put up my own businesses in the past, and when you put up a small business, you are prone to make mistakes, especially if it's your first time, di ba? Now, if you put up naman a franchise, it's like putting up your own small business. The only difference here lang is that you already have somebody who is giving you a playbook para meron silang operating manual. Tuturuan ko kung paano magpatakbo ng isang negosyo. That's the plain difference. That's a difference. Kunyari, it's like you are in a basketball team, di ba? Kung ikaw ay isang basketball player, the coach gives you the playbook, di ba? O ito yung susundan natin na playbook natin, but you can have your own moves inside there. But the objective is to play together with the team para manalo kayo, para makashoot ka ng ball. You can have your own moves, but at the end, you're still following what the coach tells you to get there. So usually, when it comes to franchising, there's a 90% success rate, especially if you're talking to accredited franchises, because they've learned their lessons na in the past, di ba? So, what they've learned, trial and error, nagawa na nila, that's why they've created a manual for you so that you'll be able to use this manual to be able to effectively run your business. So that's why then eventually, if you want to put up your own business, let's say your franchise fee, yung fee ng it expires after 3 to 4 years, then what can you do? You can say, marami na akong natutunan tungkol sa sales and marketing, sa operations. I cannot put up my own business. Hindi mo gagayahin yung franchisee mo, di ba? Yung franchisee mo. Pwede ka maglagay because you've learned a bit more about business now. Or maybe your business is, mamimili ka na isang bagong franchise. You invest in another new franchise because gagawin mo franchise, your way to grow your own businesses is to build a lot of different franchises at the same time. So that's the first thing that you think about. Franchising really, especially during this pandemic, I often tell people we do a show sa EasyFranchise called Franchising Meet and Match every Wednesday. And people often ask us that question. We tell them, there's nothing wrong with putting up your own small business also right now. Projects, maybe in a franchise. But then, if you have some little cash right now, you have little margin for error. That's why, di ba? If you're gonna put
tipping your toes sa business sa pagbi-business. Best way to guide yourself lalo na pag
the money that you set aside that you are willing to lose, that you don't need, that you are willing to lose to put into that franchise. Because that way, you are, if it doesn't succeed, it's okay. It's not big. So that's why I say if you put up your first franchise, you might not want to use your savings, di ba? Kunyari, we tell people you have to have 3 months worth of emergency fund or sometimes 6 months worth of emergency fund. Kung may extra ka pa that you want to put up, use that money first, di ba? Like right now, it's when they say save your money for the rainy day has come, diba? And if you got something extra, it's a great time to actually get some franchises which work because of this pandemic. A lot of franchises are offering special deals right now for you to get their franchise almost for free if you've got the money to pay for it, diba?
Yeah.
So that's my personal take. The money that you put into putting up a franchise should come from your savings, but the savings na extra na lang. I don't recommend that you borrow money to buy a franchise, di ba? Mahirap na yan. For me, mahirap na yan to do it that way.
Tama yung sinabi mo, Coach, kasi nga, ito yung next question ko sana, is it for everyone? So, you already answered it by saying na it's only for people who has the money that they can risk to at least lose or para mag-profit on it. Pero do not use your entire savings.
No, not at all. That's for me.
Kasi ang common din dito, Coach, is maglo-loan si OF and then mag-business. So, hindi mo rin i-recommend yung ganun.
No, I wouldn't recommend, especially if you can't run it from the Philippines. And that's just me talking, di ba?
Yeah.
I'd rather save up the money. I mean, there are many interest-earning financial instruments where you can put the money into muna, right? As you are building up, kumbaga, that money that you want to use to operate a business. And I guess if you're able to compete what you need for living expenses, and you're able to earn a bit more money from your interest, from the interest that you gain from your other businesses, I don't know, it can be stock market, it can be whatever you have that's interest earning. That's maybe what you can use to put up your business. So at the start, di man pwedeng kailangan malaki, di ba? You can start off with small, yung mga water refilling, maybe a small convenience store, maybe a small generics pharmacy, maybe an LPG, things like that, which I call essential franchises. And I'll talk about a bit more about what are my recommendations when it comes to franchises. But just in case right now, ipa-plug ko ngayon, if you in the Middle East are interested to look for a franchise that is perfect for you, please visit our website. You can see my page right, sorry, EasyFranchise.com. Just visit EasyFranchise.com and schedule an appointment with any of my team. To consult with us is absolutely free. We will talk to you. We'll give you several options of franchises which you can choose from that fit your budget and fit your preference, whether it's in the food business, in the retail business, LPG. Let us know. We would have to talk to you about that one.
Yeah, and meron din kayong gasoline station. Nakita ko rin yun dun. So,
yeah.
Gasoline station.
Iba't ibang sizes yan. For some people, we have the option of it's a solo ownership. You own that franchise yourself, right? So some people can manage within a budget of, let's say, 350,000 pesos up to 500,000 pesos kaya pa sa budget nila. But some people, they want to do a gas station, which is a bit larger. It's sort of like a co-ownership arrangement. There are several of you who will franchise the gas station so that you put the money all together to invest in buying a gas, into running a gas station.
Okay. So before they start putting their money in this franchise nga, gusto ko malaman, Coach, is ano ba ang pros and cons of having a franchise?
Now, I guess it's really just like any business, there's the cons is that really there's a big risk that you still take. In any business, there's always a risk that you take. So to mitigate that risk is that you really have to vet the franchise. So how do you vet the franchise? Take a look muna at, for example, have you actually visited that franchise in the Philippines? Have you seen it work? Diba? Do you have access to the owners? And very important for me right now is you have to ask yourself, anong ginawa ng mga may-ari ng mga franchises para sa kanilang mga franchisee habang sa panahon ng pandemya? I think that's a very big thing that you have to really look at right now. So one of the key things I often ask them, how do they provide now online solutions for you to be able to get your clients? Kasi before, many of the franchises, particularly mga food and even mga milk tea noon, syempre they relied on heavy foot traffic for people to go there. And now na nagka-COVID, some of them were very agile and very fast. We're able to give them finally yung online delivery, helping them with these things. That's very important that their franchises will understand that or natutulungan yung kanilang franchisee at the time. It's also very important to look at the founders. Do you like their story? Do you know who they are? If you've got relatives in the Philippines, ask them to drop by that franchise. Have they heard of that franchise? Is it a successful franchise? These are the things that you must remember when you're looking at the franchising. If there is a franchise that you've never heard of in the past, that's the time that you should do more investigation, especially if it's something that some people are network marketing franchise. I wouldn't know about those things. So that's not in my scope. I can just tell you that there are a lot of franchises under EasyFranchise that are not network marketing, that basically are selling you the franchise per se. We are happy to invest in a franchise business, and that's basically it. And we choose good franchises for you to be able to run. The pros, like I said, there's a clear operating manual, rule book. When you choose franchises which have a good track record of running long, those are the ones that you want to go for, right? So that's really it. And then that's what you want when there's strong support from the franchise management to run your business. Those are the ones that you want to look for.
Okay. Pero so na-mention mo pareho, nasagot mo yung dalawang tanong sa isang statement. So, you mentioned din kanina yung you already mentioned yung how to select the best franchise. So, you mentioned, if this is what you've said, no, na you really have to look at the track record of the company. And then if you are dealing with the company mismo that you wanna partner with or that you wanna put your money into, and then you also mentioned na kailangan you have to do your own due diligence din and find a way to visit. Kailangan ba?
And online muna, like for you online, just check. Have you heard of it? Like recently we just got Buffalo's Wings and Things to be a franchise. And then they're a good company. I met the owner, I like him, I know him, I know it's gonna work, diba? Lavada, who we brought there to Dubai. It's a nice laundry franchise. I like it because, during this time of pandemic, I like the product because, lahat ng tao work from home, diba? Actually, kasi wala na oras yung mga tao maglaba kasi nagtatrabaho sa bahay. So malakas rin yung, and there's an online delivery, online ordering and delivery of pick up the clothes from your house and bring it to your house. Nag-pivot sila. So okay sila, diba? You better go online and check what are people saying about it, diba? But if you encounter a franchise, all of a sudden, they want to, just pay me na my franchise fee, okay? And they have no definite location for you, they have nothing. I mean, these are mga red flags for you, diba? And they just want the franchise fee from you, but then after that, what do they deliver on? Have you heard them online? Have you seen them online, diba? Have people commented about them online? These are the key things that you wanted, diba? And some of them kasi they're super generic, diba? They're just, you want to have a franchise and the person behind it has a bit of a passion and really put some thought into making it good. Like Richie Cuna, the owner of Kurini Milk Tea, Fior Gelato, and Don Buri Mix, are really great brands, really strong background. I met the owner. When you look at them, they were able to become agile during this time. They collapsed all the three into one. So when you get now a franchise, it's not just Fior Gelato. It's all three at the same time when you get the franchise. Or like Tokyo Tempura, run by the president of the Association Filipino Franchisers, si George Winnicki. You can see how they adjusted to help out their franchisees at this time. These are the people that you want to go for. People who've established good reputations and pagkakatiwalaan.
Okay, so talaga dapat kilalanin mo yung business kasi it's a partnership kasi you want to be an entrepreneur, so you have to deal with the entrepreneur, the owner himself.
Yeah, you have to at least know the owner or heard about the owner, see what they've done. Like, who would want to get a potato corner? Diba? I mean, potato corner, you all know what potato corner is. You know that it's trustworthy. The guy behind it is actually one of the founders of EasyFranchise is Joe Mag, Jose Magsaysay. The co-founder of Potato Corner is also a co-founder of EasyFranchise. You know that it's a good business. He grew the business from 140 stalls to 2,000 stalls all over the Philippines. Meron din sa UAE, di ba? May Potato Corner na dyan.
I think meron na nga ba? Parang hindi ko pa siya nakakita sa Dubai Mall or what. Pero napakatagal. I think high school pa lang ako, may Potato Corner na. Talagang matatag na eh. And when we talk about franchising or when we talk about Potato Corner, franchising talaga yung I had a workmate before na nag-franchise silang Potato Corner, and then some other people are into that into franchising Potato Corner kasi nga they know how good that brand is.
That's right.
Pero when you, let's say, pagdating sa mga tao, sino ba ang nag-hire ng tao? Is it kami pa rin yung pipili or
if you want, like I said, one of the services that again EasyFranchise, what EasyFranchise offers is that we can professionally manage that business for you. So like right now, we were able to do Lavada. We have one of the Lavadas here in the Philippines. EasyFranchise has a professional franchise management team which can run the business for them. That's one of the biggest pain points of an OFWs, diba? That you book it on for you. So to get somebody professionally running it for you, you will know the numbers, you can get to see everything. Also the same thing we did from Phoenix LPG, Super LPG. There's also people franchising now Phoenix LPG and it's also being professionally managed for them at the same time. Now, I know one of the questions people are asking, what are the type of franchises which people will like right now, diba? And look at the franchises, what you need to remember is the word essential. What are the essential franchises people need right now? That's the word that's become very important. And because it's lockdown, because also people, even if the lockdown starts to from naging ECQ, GCQ, even anong Q yan, diba? You start deciding if people still make out leave the house. So the best franchises are the ones that are essential and that are near the communities. What are these ones? Water refilling is still very good, and you can go to EasyFranchise to check that out. You also have LPG. You also have convenience store. You also have generics pharmacies. Milk tea is a very strong franchise as well, and other food products are very good. These are what we call essential franchises because people need them. That's what you will look for right now. Franchises which people really need during this time. And some of them also can be like, you can take a look at it. Iba mga tutorial are actually doing pretty good. Why tutorial? Because that can work from home, study from home, diba? So if the parents are also working, hindi nila maasikaso yung kanilang mga anak. So these mga tutorial centers are very good for them because now there's somebody else who can help other children while they work. So these are the good franchises. In terms of the profitability, it really depends on you. Like again, you can go to the EasyFranchise website and you can double check there right now. It depends on what is your risk preference or investment preference in terms of how much do you want to invest, what is the payback that you want. You want it back in 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, 24 months. It's really all there. And the bigger thing also is that if you go to EasyFranchise right now, there are several franchises which have special deals. They stretch the payment. They discounted their franchise fee, particularly during this pandemic. If you invest in them through EasyFranchise right now. So kumbaga we work out all those deals for you ahead of time, especially now. And this is a good time, your investment. Sometimes the best time for you to invest is right now when the market is down, because right now you get a lot of these special offers from these franchises. So right now it's good. If you get a Kume area kayo dyan, that some of the malls or even the standalone yung nasa labas ng mga mall are offering very low rates for the rental right now because syempre walang tao dyan. Now, also for you guys, this is available. EasyFranchise is not only available sa taga Metro Manila or taga NCR. Even if you're in Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, we can offer you a franchise over there. Now, sometimes sa franchising kasi, it can be na you can get a location in the mall if you want or outside the mall para sa franchise mo, di ba? Or kung meron ka ngayon lugar, kung may pwesto ka na, you can just show it to them, and then if the franchise approves it, we've had some franchise approval as fast as 1 to 2 weeks online. So we've also made it very easy. Before kasi ang haba ng proseso niyan, but right now EasyFranchise has created a enterprise management system where we can handle you all online. You can just apply online. We will take care of the approval of your franchise online as well. No need for maraming back and forth. We found that as one of the biggest yung barriers to securing a franchise kasi ang daming documentation that goes offline. So gano'n namin lahat online na lang instead.
Grabe, by the name itself, easy. Dapat hindi lang easy, super easy franchise.
Super easy franchise, And you need people who have actually gone through the process. They'll tell you, ang bilis pala ng EasyFranchise to secure a franchise for me. So again, choose a franchise which medyo is close to your heart or something that you're very familiar with. And it's essential sana, ideally essential. It's something that people really need. And then after that, engage with us. Come and engage with us. Ask us all the questions that you want. And if you have a preferred location, sometimes some franchises have locations, mga pre-approved locations na. But there are others naman na kailangan pag pre-approved, okay, mas mabilis, di ba? Pasok ka na lang, di ba? Yung mga iba na naghahanap location, and you give it to them. Like, Patika Corner right now, almost kahit anong pwesto na kuna ata di ba? Sa Patika Corner. So you have to put some pwestos na libre pa where they can put the Patika Corner.
Okay. Well, we're done with the first 30 minutes of this program, and grabe bilis nun, Coach, ha? And later, we'll also talk more about ano ba yung mga pwede pang maitulong sa ating EasyFranchise. And I also have some questions in mind na nagpop up lang as we are speaking.
Sure. Please go ahead.
go on for our first break muna. Alright?
Sure.
Yo, what's up? This is Real Talk Darbs, and I have very exciting news for
Credibility. I really trust you with everything that I own and I know about business. Kasi nga, I also checked your track record din before and sabi ko, yes, this is a man that I can truly trust in terms of entrepreneurship. And you can also open the gates to us para ma-meet din namin yung mga ibang entrepreneurs na gusto rin namin maging mentors eventually if you want to build that successful franchise or business. Ngayon,
That's right.
you mentioned about the ROI, no? Parang, kasi yun yung laging tanong eh, magkano ba kitaan dyan? Paano ba kita dyan? Or ano ba ang means to earn out of that? So let's say, nag-start muna ako, let's say, start small, 100K to 200K na budget. Normally yung ganun ba, may ROI na ba siya in 3-6 months? I don't know.
It really depends. And so, you know, people, if you will check online, no, well, di ba, iba yung return on investment, iba yung payback. Let's just put it that way, di ba? Maybe let's look at the simpler financial concept is payback. Kailan babalik yung pera sa akin, di ba? When will I know na whatever I put into the business, babalik na sa akin? So kung 100K yan, when then I get the 100K back, di ba? That's one question that you want to ask, di ba? Yeah. It really depends on what type of franchise that you choose and what they're really giving you. If you go to our website right now, we actually have a ROI calculator. We've been given estimates by the businesses and from their previous experience, more or less, when the money gets back to you. So it depends on what you choose. It can be a Shomai franchise, it can be a Tokyo Tempura franchise, it can be a potato corner franchise. So sometimes it can go back to you as fast as 3 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 12 months. So it really depends on the business that you choose. But sometimes it's also ideal on what type of business you want to choose, diba? So some businesses, larger yung investment ninyo, investment, iba yung payback. We've been given estimates by the businesses and from their previous experience, more or less, when the money gets back to you. So it depends on what you choose. It can be a Show My franchise, it can be a Tokyo Tempura franchise, it can be a Potato Corner franchise. So sometimes it can go back to you as fast as 3 months, sometimes 6 months, sometimes 12 months. So it really depends on the business that you choose. But sometimes it's also ideal on what type of business you want to choose, diba? So some businesses, larger yung investment niyo, mas matagal yung pagbabalik ng pera sa inyo, but at the same time, it's the cash flow is larger. Yung return sa'yo, mas malaki yung cash flow, di ba? So it depends. It's really what I call based on your preference and what you like.
Okay, so yun pala yun, depende sa preference mo kung ano yung
and we give different estimates naman there, di ba? We give different estimated ROIs or estimated paybacks as to when you might get it back from the business which you invested. Like I said, di ba? There's always going to be a calculated risk that you take. This is the experience of some people in some areas, because some areas can be better than others, diba? Some are better, some are worse, so you don't know how they perform. But more or less, ballpark figure, this is when you get back your money.
Ang galing kasi I was checking your website last night. Nandun na lahat. Ano yung preferred mo? Ang dami talaga sa drop-down list. Ang daming companies listed there. And then nandun yung kung may preferred kong budget, 100K to 200 and so on and so forth. And then yung ROI niya, makikita mo na rin ilang months, ilang years yung preferred mo. And I think there's another column there na talaga sabi ko, ayos to, mas madali ko siyang masasegregate. Madali ko siyang may...
That's the reason why. And we also have the match me feature. Did you see the match me? You tell them more or less, okay, I want food, this is my budget, this is whatever. And we'll come up with some franchises there that might meet your budget and your preference at the same time.
Galing nga. So, right now, as we are speaking, ano ang this entire pandemic season, na-mention mo na ang mga kumikita would be the essentials. Pero all throughout, for the last 2 years na nag-start kayo sa EasyFranchise, ano ba yung pinaka-profitable? Even before COVID?
Not even before COVID, food is always going to be, well, for me, that's my personal preference because I also run a business here in the Philippines called Mercato Central, which was the largest night food market. So food for me it's a good low-hanging fruit business. But again, it really depends on on your already on your preference, di ba? Some people, they for them, like for you, advocacy yan, di ba, to do something. So some people, they want to go, sa probinsya ko, anong kulang dyan? Just take a look, di ba? Let's going back to what an entrepreneurship is all about. You're solving a pain point in a specific area. So kung alam mo sa probinsya mo, ano kayong kulang sa bayan ko, sa barangay ko? Kulang ba dyan isang water refilling? Kulang ba dyan isang dental office? Kulang ba dyan isang laundry? Kulang ba dyan yung LPG? That's what you get into, di ba? So it's not so much that what's a good franchise to get into. The analysis which you have to do is again going back to anong pain point, anong kulang dyan, then ipasok mo dyan, di ba?
Now, would you suggest would you suggest na ako, if I'm gonna choose a franchise, ayoko dun sa something na I'm really in love at. Let's say, mahilig talaga kumain. So I will put up a business na about food. Pero right now, very challenging din ang food, right? I mean, may alam natin yung...
Depends. It has to be an essential food franchise which people can pick up and say, it's not too expensive. But for me, it's not too expensive. It can be comfort food. Like milk tea did very, very well because I was surprised. Why did milk tea do good during this franchise? You might think, bakit hindi naman essentially milk tea? But you see, milk tea gave people the sense of normalcy despite the crisis. So they were drinking milk tea because it made them feel. But they just like, ito parang normal na buwan. Pag milk tea ako, parang feeling ko everything is normal like before, di ba? So some of these essential franchises might work for you. So some food, maybe some people they say, what kind of food can I have that's, pagod na ako magluto sa bahay, ayaw ka magluto sa bahay. What food is easily accessible and what food is relatively cheap? Baka Leche Manok might actually be a good franchise right now. Okay. Why? Because easy to cook, not so expensive, and it's near your house, it's near the barangay. So these are the type of things that you think of. I mean, yes, franchising as investment is good, but you also have to do your own sort of, thinking about what's good, diba? Of what you think might be missing pa in your area. And basta anything that can come close to the community, come closer to the villages, for me, those are what's going to work for you right now. And food will work, but basta you just be a bit choosy as to what type of food products you think might be ideal there. Kung alam mo yung mga tao dyan ay baka they're working very hard, they have been able to leave the house kasi because in that area they're all working from home na. What's a good product to have for that one, the food, di ba? Hindi sila makakaluto because they're all working the whole time. What can you provide? Ready-made, the meals na ready na, di ba? Para they can order, di ba? That type of thing. You have to think of those things.
Okay. Ngayon, ito, galawan to ng mga OFW dito na let's say they would work so hard, they would keep so much money during the working years, and eventually when they go back home, saka sila mag-start ng business. And normally, doon nagkakaroon ng problema. They start their own business without having the background of starting a business, without having the idea of that business. And then we all know na most of the businesses fail most of the time pag mga first 2 years mo. And eventually, si OF, pag uwi niya, siyempre matanda na siya, di na niya kaya mag-work pa.
Oo.
Lahat ng pera niya is na-invest niya dun sa bagong business na tinayo niya na he thought na kikita, and then eventually, he'll lose it. So, franchising can also be a good way for people who are retiring na, at least.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier on, that's why that pain point, we found it ahead of time. Because you can't wait, di ba? Parang if you wait for the business and you come back home and you don't know it well enough, di ba? You might also lose money. So that's what I'm saying right now. The option which we are providing for them is find a company, well, which we did because we were solving a pain point, and find maybe you can really set up while you're still there, and we can set up the company for you while you're here, di ba? While you're there in the UAE, we can set up the company for you, have it run properly. So when you come back, parang build, operate, transfer. Okay, sir, pag uwi mo, kayo na po, pwede ipatakbo to. Or kung ayaw mo, kami yung magpapatakbo ng negosyo nito para sa inyo. Anyway, you're just paying us parang a management fee to run the business for you. It's parang for me, look at the management fee as an investment in running a business effectively, di ba? Would you rather have us run the business for you, where it's effective, it's being run professionally, or would you rather give it to a kamag-anak who has no background in running a business, di ba? What is more risky? What is more risky for you? So that's why there's no need for them to wait until they come back home to run the business.
Okay, pwede ngayon na pala. Okay. Kasi I'm also thinking na let's say, ayaw talaga niya gusto niya mag-focus sa work niya right now and mag-business later on in his life. Now, yung bang cost ng franchising inflates as well, or malaki ang inflation rate niya versus other businesses?
it actually doesn't, the rate, you pay the franchise depending, you pay royalty fees, right? Sometimes you pay what we call royalty fees to have the company, and you also pay, for example, maybe every month you give out, depending on the different types of franchise deals, di ba? But you have to choose on companies where you can see that they're willing to partner longer term. You take a look at the companies where you see that there's a long-term partnership going on, where people keep on renewing their contract, because you know that these are companies who are not, they don't, because the franchisees don't want to make the money. The franchisors don't want to make the money from the franchise fee. They want to make the money from how much, di ba? Kasi they're like a central commissary. Kung sa food, you get all the supplies from them, di ba, for your place. And that's where they make the money, when you get the supplies from them. So the better business that you do, the better business also that they do. Diba? You get? So the money for them is not to be made the cost of the franchise. The money to be made from them is whenever you buy from them, they also make money, you also make money. So it's not about the franchise. It's not about the franchise fee inflating. In fact, they want to get more people to get. That's why sometimes we're willing to say, okay, you will take a lower franchise fee, but sometimes they even give the franchise almost for free. But the idea is that you keep on ordering from them the products, because that's part of the contract stipulation with the franchisor.
Okay, yun pala yun. Yun pala yung way of earning out of a franchise. And
if you were the franchise owner, that's what
you're the franchise owner. Because I'm thinking right now na I have some clients who have some spare money, and it's a good way. It's also a good way to earn passive income na rin, or as much as possible, di ba? Kasi other people
it's passive it can be if you allow somebody to run the business for you. I mean, it's not totally. It's passive for you because you are not working on it, but it's active for the person that you hired to run the company for you.
Okay. So if I want to have a decent, let's say 25K na ROI every month na passive, what would be your best franchise?
There's a lot. I mean, madami kong mga kasama dyan. But then, it's really, again, the computations are all there. I have my consultants that they can tell you. You have to ask them what you want, because sometimes it's not just we just think about the money. You have to like you have to like that franchise which you get. Diba? You have to see it's essential. Like, the LPG for me works very well, but it's a mom and pop that talagang, you have to really work on it every day. But you get loyal customers, di ba? Kasi may LPG ka, people going to you. Hindi mo maalam mag-spike na tumaas yung usage ng LPG habang sa panahon ng strikes. Di ba? Because everybody's staying at home, everybody's cooking at home. So they're doing pretty good. They're doing pretty good right now. But it's a long haul, di ba? But what if things change again? What if things change again during the, if there's a vaccine, if people are going out again, it might lessen, right? It might lessen that people are going out. But so, are you okay with that one? Yeah, because you're in the business for the long haul, not just for the short term, not 25K, di ba? Or when we potato corner, I find potato, if I have a chance to get a potato corner franchise, I'll still get one, because I think that longer term, it's still going to be a good investment.
Galing. It's a good way to diversify our assets and our cash. It's really interesting. Now, probably after this, I will check more on yung website, aralin ko yung mabuti, and I can definitely refer this type of business sa aking mga clients right now.
That's right.
Money that they can use to multiply. So yun, grabe. So dami ko natutunan about franchising today. And thank you, Coach RJ. And we all know na, siguro, it's a personal question kasi nga, ako is someone I do a lot of things on a day-to-day basis. And parang nagiging jack of all trades na nga ako eh. Pero ikaw, you are, I think, a master of everything that you do. So how do you do it?
Well, I think, I at a very young age, I was taught not to multitask kasi ako yung eldest sa bahay. So I'm the oldest child. So ako yung pinush na mami ko ng maraming things. But then, it's really because I find myself to be a serial entrepreneur. Ang ibig sabihin ng serial entrepreneur is that yung hilig ko sa buhay, yung passion ko is to create different businesses to solve many irritations. And I just realized what my key strength is. My key strength is really, planning, thinking of businesses and networking with people to understand what they do. And then to get the big picture of things, diba? That's why I'm also a host, because when I'm a host, it exposes me to so many people And then my mentor is exposing me to so many people, so we get a bigger picture of things. I'm able to create new businesses. But I'm not usually the best at running the day-to-day business. So actually, my wife Vanessa, she is actually the president of the company. She has a master's of entrepreneurship at the Graduate School of Business. She runs the day-to-day of Mercato. And I'm like the chief innovation officer because that's my job. I think of these things. Diba? And then for my other business, Enter PH, is my partner, Rocky Chan, who's a lawyer, who runs the day-to-day for that business because he can run it well. But my job is to keep help look for clients, help build the business, help network to make it an even better business. The same way for Mercato, I'm a business naging business development ako sa lahat. And also for EasyFranchise, I don't run the day-to-day. I'm a managing director who runs the day-to-day for that business. Bubbles, and she's doing a great job at what she's doing. So part is just choosing what you're good at, diba? It's choosing, I understand what my strength is. My strength is really business there, but I'm not great at day-to-day operations, but I'm great at big ideas. I'm great at connecting people. My network is my net worth, diba? And that's what, that's why I do, my TV shows help me do that one. When I meet people, I do a show called Bright Ideas on Bloomberg Philippines. I do a show called Philippine Realty on CNN Philippines. I do mentorship. It's because, I'm able to learn from all these different things, pull them together, then create businesses as a result.
Galing. So, I mean, it resonates to me kasi parang ako, I did this Strengths Finder na book nga. One of my key strengths there is I'm a maximizer daw. So, I make sure that my network is utilized so that the other people in my network can collaborate and build something out of it. So, I think it's one of my strengths. And like you mentioned na nga parang,
that's my strength. That's actually my strength. My network is my strength.
Yeah, exactly. And parang yung day-to-day mga admin work and day-to-day stuff, parang it bores me. Mas gusto ko nag-iisip. And then I throw this idea to someone na I think it's his or her strength. And then cultivate that idea further. Parang mas na-enjoy ko yung ganung klase na activity. And
so it's really just finding what you're strong at. And getting somebody who working with people who do not have who have a different strength to yours, para mag-complement kayo. Like for me, I'm good at all these bigger ideas, but I'm not good at running them day to day. My wife, naman, is very good at the day-to-day stuff. She's very good at that stuff. I don't see the operational things. I don't see that. And my mind doesn't work there, diba? But then, so I trust her, and she's doing a really great job at that one.
Galing, dami natutunan today. Thank you so much, Coach RJ. And I just want to share with you guys yung aking takeaway. Okay, today's takeaway.
Sure.
So I learned today that franchising is an easy way of building a business if you are really starting out. Para hindi mo masyadong experience yung risk that many seasoned entrepreneurs have experienced. It's a better way para mag-guide tayo slowly. Okay? And then in order for you to before you find that or before you start investing your money in a franchise, make sure to do your own research then. You gotta make sure that you speak to the owner, you have access to the information that you need, you do your research, that's very important. And then, huwag lang basta-basta magtitiwala ng something from people na hindi masyadong ganun ka-strong yung kanilang authority or yung brand or yung yung kanilang franchise or yung kanilang company. And I also learned about EasyFranchise, which is a great way to start franchising. And personally, in my experience, actually, yung website nila, it was really convenient for me. I'm not doing this just to promote EasyFranchise because personal experience, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm not paid to do this, by the way. I was the one who invited Coach RJ for this because I know for a fact that Coach RJ is the expert. I always speak to experts in the field that I want to learn most from. And that is why yung mga dinadala ko dito show are the experts in their field. It really goes to show na Coach RJ is the expert on this. And again, if you're looking for a franchise, tingnan mo yung mga essentials, lalo na ngayong pandemic. And I think it's really COVID-proof or crisis-proof. So yun, yun yung
ano mo. And the important thing I would remind people again, go back to if you want to be an entrepreneur, the basic thing is just the entrepreneurial mindset is important. If you're going to look for a franchise, remember, turn that irritation into inspiration. Huwag mo isipin na, kukuha ng franchise. No, that's not what you think. You go, anong bagay na franchise sa lugar ko? What is missing, di ba? Anong iritasyon? Anong di nakikita ng ibang tao na alam mo, kulang pa dito sa atin? And that's the start of your journey. Para that will lead you when you go to the website, alam mo kagad, baka dapat ito yung hanapin ko. Kasi ito ang pinakabagay dito. And then, tawag ka sa Manila or tawag ka sa pencil ka, ano bang kulang dyan na brand? Ano ba dyan yung medyo kailangan pa ng mga tao? That's where you put it. That's where you put something because you're solving a problem in your area.
Oo. Dito na-realize ko na you don't need to reinvent the wheel kasi there are business people who are solving that problem, di ba?
Exactly. Oh. I mean, you're solving the problem. The franchisors have solved the problem for you putting up business. But what you have to solve naman is you check in your area what problem you can solve over there. Diba?
Yun, that's our assignment after this episode. Ano ba yung may problema sa barangay natin or sa lugar natin na kayang isolve ng mga franchises? And then, once we did that, punta tayo ng EasyFranchise, let's look for the best franchise to address that problem. And then, from there,
ako group lang yan, LPG is good. Again, LPG, water refilling, laundry, milk tea. Malakas yung milk tea ngayon talaga, ibang klase. A small generics pharmacy, small convenience store. Very soon, EasyFranchise will be announcing they're going to be partnering with a convenience store na very minimal yung fee, but they're really great convenience stores na malapit na sa barangay ninyo. That's what you get. And as much as possible, choose a franchise when you talk to especially when you get a consultation. Choose a franchise that has already parang naka-digitally transformed na may online ordering na para mas madaling mga client, di ba? Dapat nandiyan na, di ba? That's what you need to take a look at nowadays when you get a franchise.
Yon, I'm really excited for my first franchise from EasyFranchise, of course, okay? Now, RJ, saan ka ba nila makikita? How can they reach you? You're a very, very busy person. I think kailangan marami book because I read.
No problem. So anyway, you can visit my Instagram page, Facebook page. You will drop a message, or Twitter. That's RJ Ledesma. I also have a website, www.rjledesma.com. I have a weekly podcast which comes out here in the Philippines every 7 p.m. I think that's about 3 p.m. I think Dubai, if I'm mistaken, 3 p.m. in UAE. It's called the RJ Ledesma podcast. On that podcast, I interview mga prominent business personalities. I really get into their heads, understand. Kumbaga, hinahack ko yung kanilang success secrets. They've been successful. I want to learn about them. I wanted to teach and translate that for people so that they can better understand them. You can follow that. You can follow the podcast. Just visit my RJ Ledesma public page. And every Tuesday it's over there. I'm also on Spotify as well. And Apple Podcast, that's the RJ Ledesma podcast.
Yon. Well, thank you so much, Coach RJ, for sharing your time and your experience, your learnings, and your wisdom in terms of franchising. And also yung naturo mo sa akin about focusing on my strengths. So, yun lang. And guys, if you're watching this, please, subscribe to my YouTube channel and subscribe kay Coach RJ na podcast din. It's one of the top podcasts right now in terms of entrepreneurship. One thing that you really have to listen to. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching this.
Mabuhay sa lahat ating mga magkababayan, mga OFW. Very proud of you. Thank you so much for all the hard work. Thank you for helping support our economy during these times. Again, I hope to visit UAE when times are better. Actually, pwede na. Actually, UAE is one of the safest countries to visit right now in terms of a tour, di ba?
Yes.
Pinapayagan ka na, di ba? But the thing is, I want to go there, want to speak there again, and maybe invite more people to join EasyFranchise, maybe see how much more business I can do over there in Dubai with our mga OFWs. Mabuhay kayo lahat. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Coach. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye!